The last time you lost your temper, what did you win? Think about it. Actually think. You raised your voice. Your heart rate spiked. You said something you either regret or you're still justifying. And what changed? What problem got solved? What respect did you gain? ഒരു കാര്യം പറയാം. കോപത്തെ കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാണ് റിയൽ പവർ ഉള്ളത്. കോപത്തിനോട് തോക്കുന്ന ആൾ വീക്കാണ്. Stay with me because we're not talking about suppression today. We're talking about something far more powerful. Let me describe two scenarios and I want you to notice which one you recognize. Scenario A. Someone disrespects you in front of people, online, in a WhatsApp group, at work, at home. It just gets hot. Words come fast. You react, maybe loudly, maybe not loudly, but sharply. Afterward, you tell yourself you are right. Maybe you were, but there's a residue that doesn't leave. Scenario B. Same situation, the disrespect happens. You feel the same heat in your chest, but you pause, you respond, not react. 3 words or none. Your face doesn't shift. The other person doesn't know what to do with that. And afterward, you feel something unusual. Not pride, not smugness, just clean. Most men live in scenario A their entire lives and call it passion. Passion alladu, adu controlling illayennu. Here's what I want to call out specifically for men in our culture, in our generation. We were taught directly and indirectly that emotional reaction is strength. That if someone insults your family and you don't respond with fire, you are weak. That silence means you accepted the disrespect. That volume equals confidence. This is one of the most damaging beliefs a young man can carry. And I understand where it comes from. In Kerala and across the Gulf Malayali community, masculinity is historically tied to protection, reaction, and social honor. The man who doesn't tolerate anything is celebrated. The man who walks away is questioned. But here is the reality nobody shows you. The men who build real power in business, in leadership, in family, in community were not the loudest in the room. They were the calmest. The man who reacts instantly to every insult, every trigger, every moment of friction. That man is being controlled, not by himself, by whoever provokes him. You are not free if anyone with the right words can make you lose composure. You are a puppet, and they are holding the string. Let me show you exactly what happens inside your brain when you get triggered. Your brain has a structure called the amygdala. Its job is threat detection. When you perceive a threat, physical or social, the amygdala fires instantly and sends a signal that floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline within milliseconds. This is the fight or flight response. It is older than language, older than civilization. Here is a critical problem. Your amygdala cannot distinguish between a physical threat and a verbal one. Someone calling you a word, questioning your status, dismissing you in front of others. Your brain processes that with the same urgency as someone pointing a weapon at you. So your higher thinking, judgment, perspective, wisdom, strategy goes offline and you operate from raw instinct. This is called an amygdala hijack. And when it happens, you are not in control of yourself. Your biology is. ആ നേരം നീയല്ല സംസാരിക്കുന്നത്, അത് നിന്റെ nervous system ആണ്. Here's the cultural layer on top of this. If you grew up in an environment where men normalized reactive anger, where emotional restraint was seen as coldness, your amygdala has been trained to fire faster. The threshold is lower. The trigger is more sensitive. This is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Because here's what neuroscience also tells us. The amygdala can be retained. The threshold can be raised. The pause, the sacred pause between trigger and response, can be extended. Not by willpower, by practice and architecture. The hardest truth in this video is this. Your anger has cost you more than you have ever calculated. It has cost you your relationships. Not because you were wrong, but because you delivered truth with a weapon instead of key. It has cost you opportunities. Managers, clients, partners who watched you lose composure once and quietly decided you were a risk. It has cost you your own peace, the residue that lives in your chest after a fight that you keep replaying, justifying, regretting. And the most brutal cost? Every time you react impulsively, you tease the people around you that you can be controlled, that all you need is to press the right button. നിന്നെ ട്രിഗർ ചെയ്യാനാവുന്ന ആൾക്ക് നിന്റെ മേൽ പവർ ഉണ്ട്, അത് മാറ്റണം. Anger itself is not the enemy. Anger is information. It tells you that a value was violated, that a boundary was crossed, that something you care about is under threat. But information delivered badly destroys the message. The man who masters his emotional delivery will always outperform the man who lets his emotions deliver themselves. The emotional command protocol. 4 practices. Practice 1. The sacred pause. Between trigger and response, insert a pause. Initially, even one breath is enough. Over time, this pause becomes your greatest weapon. Here's how to build it. When you feel that heat in your chest, say internally or even quietly aloud, I see it. Just those 2 words. Not calm down. That command fights the nervous system. I see it. Activates the observing self. It creates separation between you and the trigger. Practice 2. The response audit. For 7 days, every time you have an emotional reaction, write it down in 3 lines. What happened? How you responded? What it cost? Not to judge yourself, to see patterns. You will notice that 80% of your triggers are the same 3 or 4 categories. Once you see the pattern, it loses power. Practice 3. Deliberate discomfort. Your trigger sensitivity decreases when you voluntarily expose yourself to mild discomfort regularly. Cold water in the morning. Difficult conversations initiated by you. Physical training that is uncomfortable. Each of these practices consistently raises your stress tolerance across all areas of life. Practice 4. The response menu. Before you are in trigger state, decide your responses. 3 scenarios. 3 pre-decided responses. When someone disrespects you publicly, 1 sentence, low volume, direct eye contact, then silence. When you receive unfair criticism, let me think about that, and you actually think about it. When a confrontation escalates, physical distance, 1 statement of your position, no further engagement until the nervous system is regulated. Pre-decided responses bypass the amygdala hijack because they are already in the system. You are not creating under pressure, you are executing a prior decision. Here is the identity shift I am inviting you into. From I am passionate and I don't hide it to I am a man who his emotions serve him, not rule him. The first identity sounds powerful, it actually is fragile, and provocation can break it. The second identity is real power, it cannot be triggered away. It cannot be stolen by a word, a post, a look, an insult. It is owned entirely by you. നിന്നെ മാറ്റാൻ ആർക്കും ആവാത്ത ദിവസം വരും അന്നാണ് നീ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആവുന്നത്. The calmest man in any room is almost always the most powerful. Not because he has no emotion, but because his emotions move through him like a weather through a mountain. The mountain doesn't flinch. It doesn't stay the storm. It just remains. This is the man we are building. Think of a moment. Think of one moment when you wish you had responded differently. One conversation, one room, 1 second, very different version of you could have changed the entire outcome. That moment is gone, but the next version of it, and there will be one, hasn't arrived yet. You can be a different man in that moment. Not because you suppressed yourself, but because you built something that day, this week, this month. A trained nervous system, a practice pause, a decided identity. ആ നേരത്തേക്ക് റെഡിയായി പോവുക അതാണ് പ്രയത്നം. This week, one task, write down your top 3 emotional triggers, not to share, not to post, just to see. Track it with same, always. Comment below comment if you are committing to the sacred pause this week. Subscribe because Thursday, we are going into leadership, specifically why most men follow without realizing it, and what separates a man others naturally follow. Strength is not how loud you can be, it is how quiet you can stay when everything in you wants to explode.